Hey guys, what's up? It's Megan here. Um, we're just gonna chat really quickly. I have this topic that's been in and out of my head for a while now, and I finally have the perfect example to pinpoint how I'm feeling and kind of connect the dots a little bit. So over the weekend, I went to go visit my parents, and I got off of the I-95. I'm on the main street, and I'm driving. And as I'm driving, I come upon this tall, stark building, new building, and this building was so ugly. Ugly. it was rectangular, very modular, slim. It was 4 stories, and it was stark white. Like, they didn't even have the creativity to go with a cream white or an ivory, like some other shade other than like this. I don't even know what color white this is. It's just really, really bright white. Anyway, so I'm staring at this new building because it looks extremely foreign to its environment. Literally right across the street is a Presidente, like as if the difference couldn't get any different, yeah? So I'm observing this building, kind of using it, and the front facade of the building is half window panels from top to bottom, and then the other half is a mural, and this mural is tied to a movement, which I'm gonna get into. Is it a movement? It's tied to a process. It might sound like a reach, but I promise you, I know what I'm saying. I've seen it be done before. I've experienced it being done before. And the light turns green. So as I'm driving a little bit more further, I come across this glass store that's been in my neighborhood for a while. Like, I don't know who's older, me or this glass store. But anyway, this glass store, it's being renovated, and I am not a hater. Like, I love renovations. It looks nice. But they're also changing the name, and they're changing the name to Wynwood Glass. And it was in that moment, I was just like, oh shit. My neighborhood is being gentrified, y'all. I think, well, I'm not going to say I think. I'm not oblivious to change. North Miami has a strong presence in its community, whether it's like wanting feedback or doing outreach. There's always events, there's always workshops, there's always something to do in North Miami. And within the past couple of years, there's been lots of improvement. Very slow, but lots of improvement. Like, they've done a lot of streets improvement, like changing traffic patterns to make very congested areas less congested and give it more of a pattern. They've done a lot of improvements in walkable areas, like making areas more walkable, but also making the walkable areas extremely walkable. They've also added shrubbery and greenery and trees, which I am a fan of. Like, it's beautiful. Like, we love a good shady city. But again, like, this physical building made me so uneasy, and I had no idea why. And I just started looking into gentrification a little bit more, and well, I knew about it, but I just looked into it a little bit more. And for those who don't know, gentrification is the process in where, developers, people with money, the 1%, hell, the 10%, sometimes even your cities, y'all need to be going to city hall meetings because they get a lot of stuff done without your knowledge, and it's happening. They want you to come. They don't want you to come most of the time. But I digress. Actually, I don't digress. It always starts in the local official. It always starts in your local community. Like, people are so anal about, like, the higher level of governmental, but it always starts in your local government. Anyway, I'm not oblivious to the change, and for those who don't know, gentrification is the process in where, developers or people with higher economic backgrounds come into a city and basically flip that city for monetary value or for more foot traffic. So it's kind of like giving your city a facelift, a butt lift. rhinoplasty, an eyebrow lift, chemical peel, basically changing the overall look of your city to the point where you don't even recognize it anymore. And that's a part that concerns me. It's the character. Losing the character of the city is a part that concerns me. And I just thought, like, if we're going to continue improving, why not continue improving within the overall essence of a city? Like, why bring in this tall, stark building that has no relationship to its surrounding? Also, like, I just think, like, they all look like college dorms. Y'all, I've lived in a college dorm. Do you think that I want to live in a college dorm in my mid-20s? Like, I don't care if you're painting it. Well, there's always a pattern. It's always going to be like gray or white, and then they throw on like a couple of colors on it to make it look more vibrant and inviting. No, it looks like a college dorm. I'm not trying to live like I was in college in my mid-20s, late 30s, so on and so forth. Hopefully I'm not. Hopefully I'm not renting by the time I'm like in my later 20s. But anyway, I digress again. I live in the suburbs of North Miami, and what's beautiful about North Miami is that it is extremely faceted, whether it's economically and culturally. Like, economically, there's so many different backgrounds in the city. Culturally, there's so many different colors, so many different cultures, so many different like flavors of people. It's predominantly, Caribbean and Hispanic. Or is it Latino? So don't judge me. It's of Latin essence. You see a lot of people, and if you were to go out there midday on a weekend, you get to see all these people like walking in and out. And another thing is, like, the heart of Miami is an urban corridor, so it's a main street, and on opposite sides of this main street there's so many different stores, so many different cafes, restaurants, art galleries, essential businesses, niche businesses. Like, you just don't know. Like, it's beautiful. And there's also the Museum of Contemporary Art, City Hall, the police station. It's just really nice, and it would suck. It would suck if North Miami were to lose its essence. Like, of course I want to see it get big, and I just don't want it to get big to the point where they forget who they are. But it just seems like that's part of the process. But anyway, I've created a PowerPoint to gather my thoughts. Sometimes I create PowerPoints for fun. You can ask my siblings. We did it before. I kind of twist their hand. I kind of twist their arm in that. But I created a PowerPoint to kind of illustrate a generic town and what happens when we make towns generic and look all the same. So enjoy. I know I rambled a lot. I truly apologize. Yeah. Look at this PowerPoint that I created, yeah? Right now, so let's get into it, yeah, shall we? So we're going to be diving into this topic of this architectural phenomenon that's taking over many cities. And as a result, many cities are starting to look alike. And on our agenda, we have architectural trend, the cause of urbanism, and I'm going to talk briefly about what makes urbanism and the overall importance of neighborhood character. Like, I can't stress that part enough. But yeah, as I was talking about that building that I seen in my neighborhood, this is what I was talking about. This evident pattern on newer construction sites. Like, it's a contemporary pattern, and they're minimalistic, they're bland, boxy. They have smooth facades, and sometimes like they try to make up for it with like these multicolored panels. And the thing that drives me crazy is like how little distinction these buildings have. Like, you can't pinpoint where these buildings originated from. Like, the IKEA of architecture. This looks like something IKEA would sell. No joke, no lie. But yeah, you can't really pinpoint where this style comes from. And also, my bone that I like to pick is they classify it as luxury. Like, just because you have a gym and really nice furniture inside and a pool, and you have stainless steel within the units, does not make it luxury. And they lack character. They don't really have like a personality. And there's three factors to this, and this is leading into our next point: the cause of McUrbanism. You guys know what McDonald's is. You've seen it everywhere. You can go out of the country and find a McDonald's. You can go out of the world and find McDonald's. Like, no joke. But the cause of McUrbanism is these three factors: zoning, developers, and housing crisis. And I'm going to start with the housing crisis because that's the overall overlying issue. Housing demand has been inflated for like the past 3-4 years. And so that means there's like a high demand for housing, but there's also a lack of land, and there's also a lack of affordability. And that all ties into mass development, making it quick and easy and inexpensive just to make a profit. And these factors commingle. They're not like a step-by-step thing. And that leads me to like the developer side. Like, developers are only just trying to meet the criteria of what is willing to get approved by certain city boards and certain design review boards. Like, if it's proven to work, like, they're just going to keep doing it again and again. Like, I don't think they fully care about what this building means to people that live in it. Like, they are just trying to make a buck. And it also makes me question the architects and designers that work for these companies. Like, honestly, I have, it's not a conspiracy, but I have this thought that like designers and architects are really just trying to keep a job. They're just trying to keep a job. And so they have this cookie cutter set mindset of what design is. So they don't even further test out like their ability to create, And not only that, like CAD, computer aided design, has also led to like this integration of the role of architecture. Like, I'm sure they're not even using architects at this point. They're probably using AI, and they're probably using AutoCAD. Like, I've used AutoCAD, and while it is nice, I don't like it. I like to hand draw, but it feels very boxy, very emotionless, very robotic like. And so it's really a pain. And lastly, a zoning, which I briefly talked about. Strict zoning and building regulations just really want a safe environment, but I feel like there should be more designers on zoning boards. Like, designers should not be working for developers. They should be working for I think I just found a new career outlet. Designers should be working with zoning, with city zoning, with building regulations. That's where designers should be. Architects should be with developers. And that concludes, no, it doesn't conclude it actually. This is my final thought on this, the importance of neighborhood character. Regardless of what city you're living in, there is a character there, whether you know it or it's in unconscious identity. There is character there, and it's important because it really defines an environment. It makes an environment unique, it gives it personality. It also retains like a connection to the past, like things our forefathers did before us, or people in power did before us. It also supports local economy, and it can influence urban planning and design decisions. Like, neighborhood character is not only about aesthetics. That's not the point that I'm making here. It's about creating a sense of community, identity, shared values. It's a significant role in shaping the social and economic and cultural life of an area and preserving its essential well-being and vitality of its neighborhood. Um, I hope that made sense. I hope I'm not rambling, but in conclusion, if you didn't understand anything that I said, just take this with you. Good architecture should always respond to its local context. So, thank you for staying tuned to this YouTube video. I'm not really into commentary, but I appreciate you guys sticking around. All right, bye now.